All right, so back maybe a minute early, I think. Okay, but I think it's okay. I think all of you guys are back here. All right, so what I said we were going to discuss today was the trolley problem. So I don't know. It's a fairly well-known example problem. It's been made fun of in different media and comedies. For past couple years, there was a television series called The Good Place that was that there was an episode about this that used this as part of its um, plot line. But basically, the idea is you are at a track where there is a trolley or a train or something like that that is coming towards these 5 people. And if nothing happens, if no one does anything, the trolley will continue on that track and will hit those 5 people, and the 5 people will die. Okay. And then, but you are at the lever, and you can switch the track and make the trolley go to the other track, right? And if it does, it will hit this one person. Okay. So then the question is, do you do nothing and let the trolley hit the 5 people, or do you pull the switch and let the trolley hit the one person? Right? So go. All right. Which is the more ethical option, or simply, what is the right thing to do? Is it to do nothing to kill the 5 people? Is it pull the lever and kill the one person? You guys. I think some of you guys are debating, do I say nothing and not be wrong, or do I say something and risk the others disagreeing with me? All right. Well, doing nothing is not an option. So Urjan, okay, Urjan, what do you say? Which one is better? Do you pull the lever? Hey, let me keep a list. I'm going to keep a list here. I'm just going to not who says what. I'm just going to say do nothing and pull the lever. And count how many of you say which. All right, go ahead.
It's not just an aversion to talking in class. It's really there is zero good actions. None of the end games are actually desirable, right? It ends in death either way. But I mean, there are arguments to both sides. So pulling it saves more lives than, or rather, it takes fewer lives than it otherwise would. But it's still in not endangering, but straight out murdering an innocent bystander, right? Actually, I believe that in United States federal law, it is probably a crime to pull the lever and kill the single other person, right? Because if you did nothing, you wouldn't be involved in any of the death, but actually pulling it involves you in some situation that you know you can't help, because going into this problem, we know that it's going to end in death in some way, right? So actually pulling it is kind of equivalent to killing someone, but not pulling it is just witnessing an unfortunate act. So I think not doing anything is better for our sake rather than the victim's sake. So I'm on board with not doing anything and just watching in abject horror.
Okay, so your vote is to do nothing, right?
I'm basically not involved in any way in this, so not doing something. And I mean, those people are gonna die, right?
Right. All right, so we got one vote. My understanding is one vote for do nothing. Stay uninvolved. Okay. Are people in the railway the same? Like, do you mean like same age, same gender, same economic status, same that kind of thing? Is that what you mean, Barak? Okay, so we have a vote for pull the lever now. Okay. Let's see. So as far as the question about are they the same, I would say, for all practical purposes, for the initial question, yes, that it's basically 5, of the same people versus 1 of the same, like, all practical purposes, yeah. Because the question does get changed a little bit to see how different people respond to changing. So we have another response for pull the lever. All right. Any other responses? Othman Batura, you also pull the lever. I'll say it's not surprising that more of you are pulling the lever. Actually, from what I understand from limited reading of this topic, the philosophy that tends to emerge is killing the 1 person is preferable to killing the 5 people. Okay, so okay, so here's then the follow-up. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, Shirin? Yeah. So the follow-up then would be, a couple of follow-ups would be, what if, where is it? Did they change it? So related problems. I'm not going to do the fat man one. That's a different one. And this is where it also comes into play for us as well. It comes to self-driving vehicles, is helping the self-driving vehicles make decisions about what to do when they find themselves in a situation where if I swerve this way, this will happen, this accident will happen. If I swerve this way, what other thing will happen? So that's also part of it. I encourage you to read this Wikipedia article and some of the related material. But there's a follow-up question is, okay, so what if people, 5 random people, and this comes back to your question, Barak, from earlier, are all the people the same? Pull the lever, and the single person on the other side is your mom, or your dad, or your little brother, or someone that, your wife, your husband, something like that. So does your response change when the other person is now someone that's close to you?
For me, it does. I would actually pull the lever to save. Or rather, is pulling the lever going to kill my mother, or is it going to save her? I think your mic is...
Sorry, I'm muted. Pulling the lever will save 5 people, but your mom will be the one that gets hit.
Then I really want my mom to live, so I'm I'm not going to do anything. My answer still stands.
Right. So and that is also very common as well, is that for people, but Urjan, you chose do nothing initially, so it really just kind of reinforces that's what you're going to do anyway. But for a lot of people, when the other person on the track is someone that is important to them, we tend to have a harder time justifying the how shall I put it? We tend to have a harder time justifying letting that person that we know well die in order to save 5 people. Then it becomes harder to justify the simple math of it. You sound like my son. I actually asked my son this, and he was like, well, yeah, I'm sure I would kill mom to let 5 people live. Okay, so here, let me follow it up with a question that came up actually as part of that show I mentioned, the Good Place, right? When I watched it. Okay. Do nothing is kill. Do nothing is you kill 5 people that you know, your whole family. Okay. Maybe your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, and your friend. They're hanging out. They're having a meal together. For some reason, they're having a meal together on a train track. Why? I don't know. But 5 people you know. And pull the lever is a person you don't know. Okay. Does that change it? Does that make you pull the lever more likely because the 5 people you know are the ones that will die if you do nothing? Because Burak here, your last thing here, easy decision, do nothing. In this situation, value of 1 person is much higher than 5 because you are the one that decides the value. So do you value the 5 people that you know more than you value the life of the person you don't know?
I would kill it in this case, for sure.
Okay.
I want my family to live.
You want your family to live?
People I know to be alive.
Yeah. Okay. Very common response, but now here, let me change the details. Well, does anyone else have any comment before I make a slight change to the details to make this interesting? No? Okay. So here's how it was phrased as part of this, when the follow-up to this, when I saw it expressed in a media format. What if it's not train tracks, but it's people that you know in a hospital, and they desperately need an organ transplant? Okay, and they have 5, fortunately for them, they're 5 different organs. Okay, they need surgery. Do you, because in the trolley example, you are intentionally doing something to cause someone else's death to save 5 people you know. Would it be ethical and right to kill 1 person to be able to get the organs that are necessary to save the lives of the 5 people you know in the hospital?
I mean, if I had the stomach to actually look someone in the eye and kill them for their organs in a manner that would preserve the organs to be able to transplant them, which is most likely going to be impossible. But anyway, if I had the stomach for that, I would do it. Because, I mean,
It's tough, isn't it?
our
Yeah.
tribe and family and all that, right? Our programming, it forces us into doing something like that, I think.
Burak, to answer your question before I go back to Urjan there, to answer your question, basically it's 5 people you know. So I don't know how 5 people you know, as in like your family members, or even just close friends, or whatever. Somehow, the person that you're thinking about killing is someone that has all organs that are matches. They're able to match to. Like the surgery would be successful. So that's basically what I would say we know about the victims are the same in terms of choose 5 people that you know from your family or your friend group that would all survive if you manage to kill and, like Overjohn said, preserve the organs well enough that they could get the organ transplant. So back to Urjan's comment, yeah, like, but even like what you said in there is like if you had the stomach to do it, right? So it's seems like easier to throw a switch on a train track than to go out and actually, do something to cause a death, right? There's something about the stomach to do that that's different.
Sure, even the Nazis usually executed their victims with the victims facing away from the perpetrators, right, on their knees, facing away, in a very non-personal, machine-like way.
Yeah.
Even those demonic creatures known as Nazis were unable to stomach killing someone while looking into their eyes every time.
I believe that.
Very easy thing to do. Even most animals don't kill members of their own species.
Yeah, I believe that.
I would, by the way, never do something like this for 5 people that I don't know, or I wouldn't kill a single one of my family members or someone I know for 5 people that I have nothing to do with. It's just the family and friendship dynamics that mess things up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm capable of killing an innocent person for 5 of my family members or something for legal reasons. Let me say this.
I understand that. Yeah. Yeah. So, any other comments or questions about this? So I had planned on this going a bit longer than this, but actually due to us needing to make some departmental decisions regarding a recent announcement about face-to-face instruction and things like that, I have a phone call I have to make at 11 o'clock today, so I won't be able to stay on longer than that. But I think one of the interesting things about the trolley problem is that it brings to light how if we think solely in the idea of utilitarian ideas and solely look at the math of the situation, and we look very unemotionally, and I mean, you might even argue scientifically and mathematically that saving 5 people is better than saving 1 person, right? If that is, and not getting into things like people say, oh, what if one of the 5 people turns out to be the next Hitler, and things like that. We're not talking about getting into that debate. We're simply saying that if we solely look at the utilitarian ideal of 5 lives are more valuable than 1 life, right? Then if you solely say that's how it is, right, then in every situation, regardless of if the people on the 5 are friends or not, regardless of if the person on the other side is a friend or not, regardless of other factors such as the age of the people. So is the person, the single person on the other side, is it a baby and the 5 people are all elderly? Those types of questions in a purely math-based reasoning, purely unemotional reasoning, you would say you have to pull the lever, right? But clearly, by the fact that our responses change based upon different factors that, like Budak brought up, are all the people the same? If I change the nature of the question to say the single person is someone you know, or the 5 people is someone you know, or change the nature to say, okay, instead of 5 people on a train track and 1 person on a train track, the 5 people are in a hospital and need surgery. The 1 person is someone that could give them what they need, organs. So go kill the 1 person. Like, that's when that becomes the question, it becomes harder, right? It's not as simple as throwing a switch on a train track anymore, right? And so it shows that there's more to us, right, than simple math, and that's okay, right? That's a good thing. That's part of what ethics is all about, right? Is not just doing a simple calculus all the time, right? And so we have to be aware that we are not completely 100% robotic, mathematically reasonable creatures, right? And that's okay. That we have to be able to think of things like what is fairness and what is good, and I think part of the reason for why it's harder for us to kill the one person, if it's our parent or our friend, is because we know them and we know what they're capable of, and we know what we would lose if that person was no longer living on the earth. All right, and so there is a little bit of a selfishness there, right? Yeah. Right. Shouldn't, and that's what makes these questions difficult. And part of why these questions are asked and brought and proposed and brought up is to help us think through, because for us to think through what is ethical, what is good, what is right. Because again, coming back down below where it talks about, this article talks about implications using autonomous vehicles, is as we develop these self-driving cars, we need to, the self-driving car can make a decision about what to do much faster than we can, right? It can make a split-second decision much more quickly than we can. But as the developers of these self-driving cars, we need to tell the car, okay, what is the right decision in these circumstances, right? Is it the right thing to divert to a side road that may hurt someone, that may hit someone and possibly kill them, but at the same time, we are not going to get into an accident with a bus carrying dozens of people, right? Is that the right decision for the car? Yeah, but the car doesn't care if it's your mom or your friend, right? And so, so those are the decisions that we need to program into the car, right? If you've ever seen the movie I, Robot with Will Smith, there's a discussion of that where at one point, what is the right decision for the robot to make in calculating the odds of survival for different people involved in an accident. Right. And so those are all those questions that as we have technology and tools that will help make our lives better, we need to also be able to figure out, okay, what is the right decision for these things to make? So on a more light note, I'm gonna find it. I can't. There was a joke involving the trolley problem that I need to find that a friend told a couple of years ago. But I did run across this in my Google searching for this. So the idea is, okay. I included this link too. So if we start over, right? So the idea is basically the normal trolley problem. Right? Do you pull the lever and kill one person? So we're just going to be purely mathematical. Pull the lever. Okay, kill the one person. Right? This is so 72% of people agree with me. Okay. 5 people diverted to the other track, killing 4 people. Oh, it's still less. All right, so we're still going to go purely mathematical, right? But my guess is, yep, fewer people agreed with me on that one. All right. Okay. Trolley is heading towards 5 people. I'm gonna let you guys vote this one. Trolley is heading towards 5 people. You can pull the lever to divert it to the other track, but then your life savings will be destroyed. Okay, you have no more money. First response, I'll click that button.
Pull it.
Oh, yeah, I think probably. Oh, that's interesting that killing one person was 70-something%. Destroying life savings is only 62%.
Because insurance is possible on
Yeah.
when I think life saving.
Yeah. Oh, tough one. Trolley is heading towards 5 people. Pull the lever, but you get killed instead.
I'd do nothing. I want to live.
So no, you're not in the business of
Sacrificing myself.
sacrificing yourself. Okay. Oh, and 60% of people agree with you. Over, John. Okay, trolley is heading towards 5 people. Pull the lever to divert it to the track, but then original copy of the Mona Lisa will be destroyed. Shidan, are you responding to this one, the Mona Lisa? Yes. Okay, so she says people's lives are worth more than art. Good. 78% of people agree with you. Good. Okay, trolley is heading toward the rich man. The rich man offers you $500,000 to pull the lever to divert the trolley and kill someone else. Yeah, good thing Leonardo is not around. She says, do nothing. So Shidan says, do nothing to kill the rich man. Oh, more people agreed with you. Okay, so you guys are still in the majority. Trolley is heading towards 5 lobsters. Pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing a cat instead. That one's funny.
I think cat matters more.
The cat matters more, so kill the lobsters. Oh, wow, 85%.
They were most likely going to be killed in a restaurant anyway.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this will be the last one because we're out of time. But I encourage you to just check it out. It looks like it might be kind of fun. Trolley is heading towards 5 people who are sleeping and won't feel pain. Pull the lever to divert it to the other track, killing someone who is wide awake.
I'd scream really loud to wake up the sleeping guys and then do nothing.
So wake them up and do nothing?
Yeah. Everyone has a right to see how they're going, right?
All right, so you say you guys got some mixture of responses there. Let me see what pull the lever does, if that's more. I'm always trying to see if I can end up in the majority. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Burak, I'm going to leave there. I'm going to leave on that one, but that's an interesting comment you make to end our discussion, is that if he pulls the lever, the wide awake person dies. The sleeping people never know anything happened, so you are completely in the clear. No one knows. No one knows that you were involved. All right. So, all right. All right, guys. So, again, I encourage you. I'm gonna continue on with this and kind of see because it says it's the link I followed to get here said they get increasingly absurd. So they get really kind of crazy and out there. I want to see how far it goes in terms of absurdity. All right, guys. So if there's no other comments or questions, I hope you guys don't hang out. Yes, I can link it in the chat. I did link it in the links channel as well. But I'll go ahead and put it here so you can follow it here too. All right. So what was I saying? Anyway, like I said, I have a call I have to take, and so there's no other comments. Don't hang out in train tracks. How about that? How about we just don't go out and hang out in train tracks so we never have to deal with whether or not we might have to choose one group of people or another group of people to be hit by a train. All right. Oh, Burdock. Totally forgot. Yes. Okay. Good question. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Thank you so much. Okay. Let me pull these up. Totally forgot. This is more important. Yes. Okay. So here is the situation. Oh, need this over there. Okay. Here is the situation. So there are 4 files that I've uploaded, 4 assignments, 2 assignments, 4 files. So here's the situation. Everyone has to write a long paper and give a presentation for the end of the semester, the final exam period. Everyone has to do this. Oh, did that get grouped somehow? How do I ungroup that? Oh, I didn't mean to. Okay, let's just. Oh, Edge. I do not like Edge. All right, so everyone's going to write one short paper. Okay, that is either going to be a research-based short paper or an ethical argument-based short paper. So think of the research is like a literature review, a critical survey. Okay, if you have not chosen a topic for your thesis, now would be a great time to start considering that. Choose a topic that you are interested in learning more about, that you are thinking that could make a good thesis. Okay, so you need to have at least 9 articles related to this. It needs to be between 3 and 7 pages in the 2-column IEEE format. Okay. If you choose to do the research paper, the critical survey, the critical review as your short paper, then you have to do the argument paper as your long paper. Okay, so you're going to write 1 short, 1 long. Everyone's going to also write 1 research and 1 argument. Okay, so if you choose the research paper for your short paper, then you will do the long paper for the argument. If you choose the argument for your short paper, you will do a long research literature review. Okay. The argument paper, so you'll need 6 articles for that, 2 and 4. Argumentative paper format, which is not 2-column, it's just a straight up and out. Note, for the research papers, both of them are IEEE format, meaning that it's not like your thesis is going to be. For those of you, if you're in the doctoral program, then you've already written a master's thesis. There was a format to that was a single column. That's not what this is. This research needs to be in the 2-column IEEE format. Okay. Both situations, for the long paper that's due at the end of the semester, during the final exam period, whatever they set our final exam date to be. On that day, we will also give presentations. Okay, so if you choose the research paper to be the long paper, you will give a presentation about the research, about the state of the art, about the topic that you've researched. If you choose the argument paper to be your long paper, you will need to give a presentation about the argument. So what arguments are there? I also shared that. Okay, but it's not here. Okay, let's see. Where are you? Yeah, G, you can just message me privately about that. So I shared this, I believe, with you guys, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So what I've shared with you guys is this. These are the topics that I've pre-selected. I'm also open if you have another topic that you really like to discuss. That's okay too. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to choose one of these topics. All right. So, and you need to choose a affirmative, a pro side, or a con side. Once one of those is chosen, no one else can have it. So for example, in this first one, if let's say Budak, I'm not actually adding you here, but let's say you chose this one, right? Once this one's taken, no one else can have that topic. Okay, you can take the negative side of it. You can take the other side of it, but you cannot take this topic, this position. Yep, so let's choose a different one this time. Okay, so what would really be fun too is if two of you choose the same topic, one pro, one con, and both of you do the long video. Then we can have like a debate time, kind of a structured debate even, which did happen once. Did happen once in this course, not more than that though. All right, so some of the topics that I've pre-selected for this semester is using the monitoring children's social media or tech usage. The affirmative, what I've labeled the affirmative would be that parents should monitor their children's usage. There's lots of crazy stuff out there on the internet that we don't want our kids seeing. YouTube is like crazy, so we should monitor that stuff to make sure that they're not getting into stuff that they don't need to. Their text messages, who knows what they could be messaging other friends, who knows what friends are messaging them. We need to know about that as parents. That would be the affirmative position. The negative side would be it is invasion of their privacy to do that, and we should not do that. We should be able to give them their freedom to be able to contact their friends through social media and stuff like that without us overseeing everything they do. Free market. Cool. Yeah, so message me privately, and once one of those is taken, then I will write your name in here, and we will. You don't have to choose today. You don't have to choose immediately which one is going to be the long paper, which is going to be the short. But again, once a topic is taken, then it's done. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and. If you want to choose that one, Shuden, what I will do is I will go ahead and put you in here. All right. So let's see, free market. Basically, the idea is that if we let the market decide prices and wages and stuff like that, then that's the best way to do it. Opposed to that would say that companies will drive wages low in order to maximize profits, and we won't be protecting our citizens or protecting the environment, because they're also going to do things like harm the environment in order to make the best profit. So that would be the negative side of that. Just war theory, the idea that protecting civilians and other lives is necessary, and if that means violence, then so be it. The negative side of that would be if we engage in violence, there's just going to be more violence and more, and there's no end to it, and so therefore there's no circumstance under which we should engage in any kind of violence. Qualifications. Let's see, Broadcast, can you say the negative side of the refugees? I can put that there. I can do that. Qualifications, I should report accurately all the training qualifications I may have. It is the other side of that. Basically, anything short of that is deceptive and lying. The other side of that is it is acceptable to list technology or qualifications I have ever used. So if I've ever written a single line of PHP code, kind of on the extreme end of this, then I can list that as a qualification on my CV, and that's okay because I did use it, right? This one is one that I every semester I get a couple of friend requests on different social media from students. If two people have similar interests and know each other in real life, no problem with connecting on social media. The other side of that is professional life and personal life should be kept separate. The idea being here is it okay for a teacher or an employer or a customer to connect on social media, be Facebook friends, or John Pro just for. So the idea here is, but the positive side of that is, hey, we're both adults. We can be friends on social media. That's not a problem. The con side of that is, especially from the teacher-student perspective, is if I'm your friend on Facebook, is it possible that your your grade could be influenced by something other than your classroom-based performance. So that's where that would come in. And then finally, Braddock's already taken the negative side of this, so I'll go to that one first. Basically, we should consider how admitting refugees could affect our own country, our own economy, that because those things could be negatively impacted, we should be discerning and not always admit refugees regardless of their personal situation, whether or not it will help or hurt them. The positive side of admitting refugees, the pro side would be, not positive, the pro side or the affirmative side would be, we should be willing to help anyone in need, regardless of how we may be negatively impacted by such help. Okay. Again, if you have another topic, or there's also a column here for an alternative position. By no means should we say these are the only two positions that people could take on any one of these issues. So if you have a substantially alternative position of how we should look at things, or how someone could look at things, then you may message me and I can add that. Finally, one question I've gotten in semesters past, you don't have to agree with the position that you write about. You don't have to agree. So Shadin, for example, here has chosen the parents should monitor their children's usage. I'm assuming from the fact that the way you said that you probably already agree with that, which is fine. But if you want to take the opposing side, the side opposite to what you believe, I've had a number of students who in semesters past have done exactly that. They've intentionally chosen the position that's opposite to what they already believe because they wanted to understand more about why people who don't think like them think that way, right? And so and that can be a good thing for us to try to understand alternative points of view. Okay. So are there any questions? Any questions or comments about this before we dismiss? Thank you so much, Braddock, for reminding me about this. Yep, we're done.
Sure, I was just going to ask if it is possible for us to choose a topic different from one of these. It's probably not, right?
Yes, if you want to add another topic down here, I can consider that. Just let me know. Just message me privately. What you would need to do is you would need to give me the topic idea and give me a description of both the affirmative and negative position, as well as which one you would like to take.
Thanks.
Okay. Good question. Anyone else? All right. Yeah. Thank you again, Braddock, for reminding me, because I would have totally forgotten about that probably. All right. Have a good afternoon, guys, and I will see you in a week's time.
Thanks, sir. Goodbye.
Thank you.